Hey everyone, it's Minty, and in honor of Mermay, I'm going to be redesigning my mermaid OC, Audrey, who you might recognize from these old drawings. I'm going to draw her again with a few adjustments to the design, and I'll also be explaining her backstory that I came up with about 10 minutes ago, so it's not that developed yet, but hopefully it will still be interesting. Here's a little overview of the sketch, and it might not look too different yet because some of the new additions are in the coloring, but the first thing that I changed about her was giving her wavy hair instead of straight. There's not much reason for this change, I just think it suits her better. It's just a lot more flowy, and that's how I imagine her hair would be since she lives underwater. On Pinterest, I have a board where I pin images of what I think my OCs would look like if they were real, and I thought it would be fun to show you one of the faces that I pinned for Audrey. It even has the right hair color as well, so now you can imagine what she would actually look like. If you have OCs as well, I definitely suggest doing this. It's just a really fun activity to find people who look like your characters. Last time I drew Audrey, I decided to give her some cool makeup, and I've kept that design pretty much the same since drawing her last. I just want to make it a bit more obvious in this drawing. She's got pink eyeshadow, a lot of it, and then some white eyeliner that goes up in an angular shape. That might not make sense, but you'll see it in a second. So her eyes are definitely meant to be the main focal point, but she also has some blush, a little bit on the nose, but mainly on the cheeks, and then on top of the blush she does these white freckles, which I would do with a white gel pen, and then also one little heart-shaped highlight, which I think is really cute. When I was describing that, it wasn't actually on screen, but as you can see now, I am adding those freckles. After all that, it's probably not a surprise that Audrey's job in her little underwater kingdom is being a makeup artist and also some other stuff. She owns like a boutique or a salon, I don't really know what to call it. She does makeup, hair, and also tail dyeing, which I made up for mermaids. Like, they go in and they dye their tails different colors, which I think is a pretty cool concept. Audrey's also really intelligent. When she was 14, she invented waterproof makeup for the mermaids. Obviously, we have waterproof makeup here, I'm pretty sure, but this is a different world and everything. And also, they're going to be swimming around in it all day, completely underwater, so she got pretty well known for it, and her boutique is quite famous, like, in the area. I haven't actually figured out a name for this underwater kingdom. I want it to be something interesting and unique, not Atlantis or anything like that. If you have any interesting suggestions, then feel free to comment them. I think now would be a good time to get into her whole story. I did write the plot on the page later in the video, but I'm gonna guess you guys would rather me tell you than read it. The underwater kingdom, which still doesn't have a name, is a pretty big place, and there are loads of different fish, turtles, and dolphins living there, as well as the mer people, but they don't allow any bigger creatures, for example sharks, because they're predators. But since the kingdom is so big and brightly colored, it's pretty hard to miss, and it's often under attack by these bigger creatures. After a small area was completely destroyed by one of these attacks, the king ordered for a wall to be built around the kingdom. But obviously this is a really slow process, and until it's completely built, they're still going to be in danger. So while it's being built, they have a lot of soldiers situated around the edges of the kingdom to protect it. As I said before, Audrey is just a makeup artist. Or is she? She's actually half siren, which are those mythical mermaid-like monsters which sing to attract their prey. Audrey appears to be a mermaid on the outside, but she did inherit the singing ability. Obviously, she would never use it though. Until one day, she decides to go on a little adventure to the kingdom edge. She's bored of her everyday life and she just wants to help out with everything that's going on, so she uses her voice to scare away some incoming sea monsters. With the siren call, it usually attracts humans, but with sea monsters, they recognize that the siren call is dangerous and they turn back as soon as they hear it. Audrey finally feels like she's making a difference, and she goes back there every day to this spot to keep a lookout for any attacks and scare them away. She keeps her little spot a secret because if anyone found out that she was part siren, they would definitely drive her out of the kingdom because they're very, very protective of it. It's just another regular day, and she goes out to do her part in protecting the kingdom when there is a massive squid, bigger than the giant squid because this is a fantasy world. A soldier comes swimming over to see what's going on because the squid released some black ink and he saw it from around the corner. He sees Audrey and he tries to protect her, but she knows that there is no way he can fight off this massive thing with just a shield and a trident, so she uses her siren voice to scare it away. So they're both safe, but now he knows her biggest secret. He's about to go and tell people about this when Audrey strikes a deal because she knows that everything is at stake here. She says that if she keeps scaring off monsters for him, then he can take the credit as long as he doesn't tell anyone about what just happened. Obviously he agrees because he wants all this fame and glory, so that's what they keep up for the next couple of weeks, I guess. She scares them off while he just stands there and takes the credit for it later. They don't really get along at first, but after spending a lot of time together each day, they kind of like I don't know, they probably fall in love or something, like a Disney movie. But other than that, I don't really know what happens next. I'm gonna assume that there's some big battle or something with the other monsters, and then her secret gets exposed to like everyone or something like that, but I'm not really sure how that's gonna happen. If you have any ideas, feel free to suggest them. But yeah, that's it so far, and I think it's better than what I had before, because before this I had nothing for her story. Oh yeah, another thing that you could comment if you had any ideas is a name for this guy. I don't know what it's gonna be. I'll probably just look up merman names or something and I'll pick one from the internet. But yeah, if you have any ideas for that, feel free to tell me. Now that I'm coloring this drawing, the adjustments that I made to her design are probably a bit more obvious. Some of them you might not be able to notice. For example, a few extra golden straps, like the one by her neck attached to the top, and also the one on her arm with the golden pearls. I think that would be part of her top too, but I'm not really sure how that works because it's like on her arm. I don't know, it looks cool, so I'm gonna keep it. Other than that, I added a little extra part to the bracelet, but that's really not much at all. That's barely part of her design, just an accessory. But the main part is changing the tail from a pink gradient, which was just pink to a slightly darker pink, to a white to pink gradient. Before drawing this, I thought that I would do like a yellow to pink gradient instead, because yellow is an aspect of her design with all the golden straps, but I thought it would make it a bit too yellow and I'd have more yellow than pink, which I didn't want. So I went with white because it matched the top and it just looks so much more elegant, I guess. I don't know what it is about it, but I really love this, and it's kind of like if I was a mermaid, I would definitely want to look like this. This is such a cool outfit. Oh, I also added a little thing to her hair accessory where she has a half up, half down bun. So yeah, there's that, but that's not too noticeable. I should have mentioned this earlier because it's kind of important, but I finally decided on a last name for Audrey. I'm not sure if I ever thought of one. I might have had a last name for her at first, but I forgot what it was, and it probably wasn't that good. So I decided on the last name Quartz, like the crystal rose quartz, because she does have those colors in her design. So yeah, Audrey Quartz. Now that I'm saying quartz so much, it sounds really weird, but yeah, that's what I've decided on, and that also helped me decide on the name for her boutique, makeup shop, whatever, and I called it Quartz Beauty. It's not that imaginative, it's literally just her last name plus beauty, which is very basic, but it sounds nice and it doesn't have to be super interesting. I wanted to fill this whole page, so I added a few little sketches. The one that I'm drawing right now is the environment. It's where her shop is, and it shows how it would look, but it doesn't really match up with what I was thinking in my imagination, because I ended up going over it with a lot of blue because I wanted to make it look like it was underwater, but it really just drowned out all the colors. So maybe if you look at this drawing and imagine it being a lot more vibrant, then you could see how it looks in my brain. But yeah, not too proud of that one. But before that, I drew a little thing of her eye where it's closed so that you can see all the makeup, but I think that it's a better representation when her eyes are open, because I wasn't really sure how to do the eyeliner when her eyes were closed. But it fills the space. As I said, I wanted this whole page to look good. I'm not sure if I have time to list out all her likes and dislikes, but one of the dislikes I wanted to mention is the midnight zone. So she doesn't like going deep down in the ocean because she's probably scared of the dark, like any sane person would be. And yeah, that's all we have time for today. I hope you liked the finished drawing and you enjoyed her backstory, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!